CompTIA A Certification Exam Crash Course. Question 1. A database owner can tolerate losing no more than 15 minutes of recent transactions. Which option should be implemented? Option A, ticketing system. Option B, full backup. Option C, recovery point objective. Option D, incremental backup. The correct answer is option C, recovery point objective. The scenario calls for a metric that defines the maximum acceptable amount of data loss measured in time. It determines how frequently data must be protected or replicated. A recovery test restores data no older than the approved time threshold. Question 2. The requirement is for a service that shares a cellular data connection by creating a local Wi-Fi network for nearby devices. Which choice matches it? Option A, mobile hotspot. Option B, cloud synchronization. Option C, location services. Option D, USB tethering. The correct answer is option A, mobile hotspot. A suitable service must be able to perform the stated function because it shares a cellular data connection by creating a local Wi-Fi network for nearby devices. It lets multiple clients use one mobile device as an internet gateway. Airplane mode disables radios and would prevent the connection rather than provide it. Question 3. The technician must justify the selected approach using the stated requirement. Which consideration distinguishes screen lock from the alternatives? Option A. It transfers changes through an online account so multiple endpoints maintain current copies. Option B. It is optimized for nearby accessories and low-power device connections. Option C. It provides the voltage and amperage specified by the portable computer manufacturer. Option D. It limits unattended access without shutting down or erasing the device. The correct answer is option D. It limits unattended access without shutting down or erasing the device. Screen lock is relevant because it requires authentication before a mobile device can be used after inactivity. Airplane mode changes radio behavior and does not restrict local access to applications or files. The device requests the configured credential after the idle timeout expires. Stressed about your CompTIA exam? We can take CompTIA exam for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done. Question 4. A required application component does not run because its supporting service is stopped. Which option should be implemented? Option A, the device manager. Option B, event viewer. Option C, Windows security. Option D, services console. The correct answer is option D, services console. The scenario calls for a utility that starts, stops, configures, and reviews background Windows services. It provides control over service state and startup type. The application works after the correct service starts and remains configured as required. Question 5. The technician must justify the selected approach using the stated requirement. Which consideration distinguishes rebuild the search index from the alternatives? Option A. It separates account-specific settings from system-wide problems. Option B. A fresh index corrects missing or corrupted metadata used by the search service. Option C. A validated backup provides an authorized source that predates the loss. Option D. A current build may contain corrections required for the newer environment. The correct answer is option B. A fresh index corrects missing or corrupted metadata used by the search service. Rebuild the search index is relevant because it regenerates the operating-system database used for fast file and content searches. Defragmenting an SSD is not a reliable fix for a damaged search database. The previously omitted files appear after indexing completes. Question 6. During a structured troubleshooting session, the technician compares the available choices. Why is rootkit an appropriate selection? Option A. It reduces the opportunity for unauthorized software and malware execution. Option B. It attempts to maintain privileged stealth and can undermine trust in the operating system. Option C. It limits repeated attempts while balancing security with the risk of user lockouts. Option D. It applies social-engineering tactics through mobile messaging. The correct answer is option B. It attempts to maintain privileged stealth and can undermine trust in the operating system. The important capability of rootkit is that it hides malicious activity by modifying low-level system behavior or privileged components. A browser cookie stores website data and does not provide privileged system concealment. Offline or specialized scanning reveals hidden components that ordinary tools did not report. Question 7. Which choice names the utility that views and modifies the hierarchical Windows configuration database? Option A, Task Manager. Option B, Registry Editor. Option C, System Configuration. Option D, a Control Panel. The correct answer is option B, Registry Editor. The defining function is that the utility views and modifies the hierarchical Windows configuration database. It provides direct access to registry keys and values when an authorized change is necessary. Editing the registry without a verified procedure can create serious system problems. Question 8. A department needs authenticated access to a common folder hosted on a Windows file server. Which protocol most directly meets the stated need? Option A, SSH. Option B, RDP. Option C, UDP. Option D, SMB. The correct answer is option D, SMB. The stated requirement depends on a protocol that supports shared access to files, folders, and printers on many local networks. It enables network clients to use shared resources through standard file and print services. The user can map the authorized share and open its files over the network. Are you looking for CompTIA A exam actual questions? Visit our website pokerexams.com to access CompTIA A exam study guide with actual questions and answers. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description to get CompTIA A exam answer key today. Question 9. A technician needs a technology that creates separate logical broadcast domains on shared switching infrastructure. Which option should be selected? Option A, a VLAN. Option B, TCP. Option C, SMB. Option D, NAT. The correct answer is option A, VLAN. The required technology is one that creates separate logical broadcast domains on shared switching infrastructure. It segments traffic logically without requiring a completely separate switch for every group. A different SSID name alone does not guarantee network-layer separation. Question 10. An entry-level technician must select the option that best matches the stated requirement. Which characteristic best justifies selecting follow software licensing requirements? Option A, license compliance reduces legal exposure and supports legitimate vendor use rights. Option B, a minimizing visible information reduces unnecessary disclosure during troubleshooting. Option C, pescalation brings the appropriate owner into the process without unauthorized experimentation. Option D, it encourages details that may not appear in a yes or no response. The correct answer is option A. License compliance reduces legal exposure and supports legitimate vendor use rights. In this context, follow software licensing requirements uses software according to its purchase, subscription, and redistribution terms. Technical ability to copy an installer does not grant permission to use it on unlimited systems. The required number and type of licenses are documented before deployment. Question 11. A server address changed, but one workstation continues connecting to the old address while other systems work correctly. Which choice provides the required capability? Option A, inspect the cooling system. Option B, verify the front-panel power connector. Option C, flush the DNS resolver cache. Option D, ping the loopback address. The correct answer is option C, flush the DNS resolver cache. The described need is met by a procedure that removes stale locally stored hostname records. It forces the client to obtain updated name information instead of reusing the cached entry. A new lookup returns the current server address after the cache is cleared. Question 12. A workstation has a valid address but cannot reach the internet, and the technician must determine whether it can reach the local router. Which choice is most appropriate for this situation? Option A, flush the DNS resolver cache. Option B, ping the loopback address. Option C, ping the default gateway. Option D, replace the laser printer fuser. The correct answer is option C, ping the default gateway. The described need is met by a procedure that tests local-subnet communication with the router used for remote networks. It verifies the path through the adapter, local cable or Wi-Fi link, and LAN to the configured gateway. Replies arrive from the gateway while external testing can continue separately. Question 13. A single cosmetic preference request arrives at the same time as a company-wide authentication failure. Which practice is the best fit? Option A, set realistic expectations. Option B, document the resolution. Option C, express empathy. Option D, prioritize a critical outage. The correct answer is option D, prioritize a critical outage. The problem is addressed by a practice that gives urgent attention to incidents with broad business, safety, or security impact. Impact and urgency should guide queue order rather than arrival time alone. The widespread service incident receives immediate ownership and communication under the priority policy. Question 14. A computer reaches a web server by numerical address but fails when the user enters its hostname. Which service should the technician select? Option A, DHCP. Option B, the DNS. Option C, a VPN. Option D, NAT. The correct answer is option B, DNS. The stated requirement depends on a service that translates hostnames into IP addresses and can provide other name-related records. It allows people and applications to use readable names instead of memorizing network addresses. A lookup returns the expected address for the requested hostname. Question 15. Which procedure removes corrupt queued jobs and resets printing workflow? Option A, terminate the hung process. Option B, clear the print spooler queue. Option C, uninstall the recent update. Option D, remediate the system. The correct answer is option B, clear the print spooler queue. This procedure removes corrupt queued jobs and resets printing workflow. Clearing the software queue isolates the issue from the functioning printer hardware. Replacing the imaging drum would not release a stuck operating -system queue. Question 16. Which result would verify that rootkit is functioning as required? Option A. The session locks after the idle interval and requests credentials before resuming. Option B. The test file is quarantined and the protection engine reports current definitions. Option C. The sender and link fail verification and the message is reported as malicious. Option D. Offline or specialized scanning reveals hidden components that ordinary tools did not report. The correct answer is option D. Offline or specialized scanning reveals hidden components that ordinary tools did not report. The intended role of rootkit is that it hides malicious activity by modifying low-level system behavior or privileged components. It attempts to maintain privileged stealth and can undermine trust in the operating system. A browser cookie stores website data and does not provide privileged system concealment. Question 17. The technician must justify the selected approach using the stated requirement. Which consideration distinguishes local group policy editor from the alternatives? Option A. It can reverse system configuration changes while preserving user data. Option B. It examines storage structures and can repair supported logical inconsistencies. Option C. It filters text efficiently and can be combined with other commands through pipelines. Option D. It provides centralized local policy settings without editing each registry value manually. The correct answer is option D. It provides centralized local policy settings without editing each registry value manually. Local Group Policy Editor is relevant because it configures many computer and user policies on supported Windows editions. A basic text editor cannot enforce operating -system policy settings. The configured policy applies after refresh or sign -in and the restricted behavior changes. Question 18. A regulated company requires exclusive control over its cloud environment and data placement. Which deployment model should be used next? Option A, private cloud. Option B, Type 1 hypervisor. Option C, public cloud. Option D, container. The correct answer is option A, private cloud. The problem is addressed by a deployment model that provides cloud-style services on infrastructure dedicated to one organization. It combines self-service and automation with organizationally dedicated resources. Only authorized organizational tenants can provision workloads in the environment. Stressed about your CompTIA A exam? We can take CompTIA A exam for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee A pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done. Question 19. A newly assembled desktop has standby power lights but does nothing when the case button is pressed. Which choice is most appropriate for this situation? Option A, check for a duplicate IP address. Option B, replace a swollen battery. Option C, verify the front-panel power connector. Option D, replace the laser printer fuser. The correct answer is option C, verify the front-panel power connector. The described need is met by a procedure that checks the small case -switch lead when pressing the power button produces no response. It confirms that the physical switch signal reaches the correct motherboard header pins. The system starts normally after the lead is attached to the documented header. Question 20. Which component renders graphics and accelerates highly parallel visual or compute workloads? Option A, liquid cooling system. Option B, a graphics processing unit. Option C, a trusted platform module. Option D, motherboard. The correct answer is option B, graphics processing unit. This component renders graphics and accelerates highly parallel visual or compute workloads. It contains specialized processing resources and dedicated display outputs for graphics-intensive tasks. A network interface card adds connectivity rather than visual-processing capability. Question 21. A technician has configured controlled UPS shutdown. Which outcome demonstrates success? Option A. The team returns the service to its known -good version within the planned window during a test. Option B. Every transfer is signed, timed, and matched to the uniquely identified item. Option C. The approved record identifies the scope, schedule, owner, test evidence, and backout method. Option D. The operating system closes services and powers off before the UPS reaches its critical threshold. The correct answer is option D. The operating system closes services and powers off before the UPS reaches its critical threshold. Using controlled UPS shutdown is appropriate because it uses battery runtime to save work and stop systems cleanly during an outage. An orderly shutdown protects data and file systems before battery depletion forces an abrupt stop. Continuing non-essential workloads until the battery is empty increases the risk of corruption. Question 22. During a structured troubleshooting session, the technician compares the available choices. Why is RAID 1 an appropriate selection? Option A. Its core count, architecture, frequency, and cache influence overall processing performance. Option B. It forms the temporary image used to place toner in the correct pattern. Option C. It improves availability by keeping identical data on both members. Option D. It generally provides more capacity per unit cost than solid-state storage. The correct answer is option C. It improves availability by keeping identical data on both members. The important capability of RAID 1 is that it mirrors data across two drives to maintain a second copy if one member fails. RAID 0 increases performance and capacity but provides no redundancy. The array remains accessible after one drive is taken offline and reports a degraded state. Question 23. After implementing hybrid cloud, which observation most strongly confirms the intended operation? Option A. Approve services exchange data and extend capacity across both connected environments. Option B. A virtual machines start on the bare metal platform and access assigned resources normally. Option C. The guests exchange traffic through their assigned virtual network even if no external cable is involved. Option D. Each resulting guest can be started and modified without changing the source instance. The correct answer is option A. Approved services exchange data and extend capacity across both connected environments. Hybrid cloud integrates private resources with public cloud services. It allows workloads and data to use different environments according to policy, cost, and scale. Using only one public provider does not create the private and public combination described. Question 24. The proposed solution is being reviewed before implementation. Which property makes patch management suitable for the requirement? Option A. It provides a controlled way to apply vendor fixes while tracking compliance and failures. Option B. It separates routine activity from elevated operations and makes privilege use visible. Option C. It attempts to maintain privilege stealth and can undermine trust in the operating system. Option D. It combines independent evidence such as knowledge, possession, or inherence. The correct answer is option A. It provides a controlled way to apply vendor fixes while tracking compliance and failures. The important capability of patch management is that it tests, deploys, and verifies software updates that correct vulnerabilities and defects. Changing passwords does not remove a vulnerability in unpatched software. The management report shows the update installed successfully on the targeted endpoints. Question 25. A technician needs a component that provides a computer with a physical or wireless network connection. Which option should be selected? Option A. SATA SSD. Option B. Laser printer fuser. Option C. Network interface card. Option D. Power supply unit. The correct answer is option C. Network interface card. The required component is one that provides a computer with a physical or wireless network connection. It supplies the media interface, hardware address, and link functions needed to join a network. A sound card processes audio and cannot establish Ethernet connectivity.